their position right now, right? They just were always top 2, top 3 in the nail. Now they're fighting the first spot. But Soniqs, they started in the basement, then they're in the middle pack. All of a sudden, they find themselves in the quote-unquote grand finals, and they've been ramping up, looking better play day by play day. But I do think it's a fitting one. The team that's always looked good in M80 versus a team that's looking like the best version of itself for this stage right now in Soniqs.
There's a little bit of chatter ahead of time. I don't know if you saw Gio's post about how Spoit was a man of his word. He would allow the Soniqs to just walk on through this. This is going to be an intense matchup for the two. M80 starting on defense. They get first ban. Thermite goes out. Ying follows very quickly after, but Soniqs are having some difficulties as to what comes next. Azami is a relatively bog standard ban on most maps. A map like Skyscraper, she will have quite a lot of influence when it comes to rooms like Geisha, defending over towards Drum, defending Office in particular. Establish that beachhead in Office, whether you're defending any of the bomb sites, really. Valkyrie will join, and those are our 4 operators removed from action. I'm glad that these players are getting all the pleasantries out of the way, because I suspect that the actual matchup itself not going to be that pleasant for both teams.
Yeah. Once the game starts and they get into the server, they're gonna stop talking in chat because they gotta focus up. But good bit of banter before a game is always nice to see. Of course, players at this stage, they know each other pretty well. Squared up a couple of times, played each other. Some have played with each other. So if you look far back, Skyscraper, it's one of those maps where we tend to see the defense being favored, and maybe they have the pleasure of starting there. This kind of spoke about Gunner and the side of Soniqs, you know, Gunner leading the entry, doing the IGLing, but also playing the flex and supportive role when needed for Soniqs. And it's why he is that quote-unquote highlight player. Because Gunner isn't your standard Ashman and walking into everything, but he also doesn't just sit back when he plays Thatcher. No, he does it all the way through. Yesterday's matchup though is Grixer putting up phenomenal numbers, clutching rounds left and right, and just having a phenomenal time in the server. It's been quiet earlier in the stage of stage 2, but really found his stride in these best of 3s.
The Solus right away gaining information down below. No Super on Soniqs anymore, but Super in Iconic's name. He'll navigate the cams, playing down by house side. On the stairs, relatively protected.
I mean, we go from watching all the way to a third map, previous matchup between Dark Zero and Wildcard 2. These teams are still, getting into it. They gotta warm up here, give them a round or so, feel each other out, set the pace, see who takes control. When you're attacking Skyscraper, you gotta, pay respects to defense. Don't lose those members early. And just take it nice and easy, but Spoit gets a first easy opening kill and a second to follow as well.
Spoit having the time of his life from this position. Goodbye, Gio, and goodbye, Gunner. Isn't looking for the follow-up down below, but a bit too concerned with somebody jumping on him from that position. Iconic's gonna get him here. There we go. P90 so formidable at such close range. Rexon keeping things close, though, with 2 picks of his own. Rixer looking to find the board. Staring towards Drum. Silhouettes present, but nobody in the vicinity. He'll go on to Drone now with plenty of time left, just a little over a minute.
Might have overstayed there a little bit. You get the kills, great, but if you can, most teams tend to try and fall back towards that bomb site and kind of solidify their position. If you play too far spread apart, well, you'll get found real quick, as the Soniqs did. They found 2 kills into Gomez and Spoit. Spoit, of course, only 1 single health left in that bar, so he's almost already in the grave. But time's an issue. We see Rexon sprint back towards that window on Office side of things, pick up that diffuser case. 40 seconds to go, and what should be a strong crosshold and crossfire set up from M80, getting into the bomb set and getting down that diffuser should be nearly impossible. Iconic's playing from below, could deny the plant, but might also think otherwise and go upstairs instead.
There goes Kino. Grixer getting that first kill that he needed. Now on the board, Lion roaring as Rexon runs through.
The attacker's
Diffuser in hand, he'll have to plant up against a soft wall. Will be vulnerable in the process. You've also got a Solus still lurking down below, so Iconic will give information to Diaz. Grixer just narrowly missing out on Iconic. I don't realize how close he was. Diaz with 2, and that's the first round for M80.
Is that a lineup? Oh, he runs right into it. Unlucky, honestly. It was close. Came down to a 2v2. Iconic, he had that, difficult decision to make. Do you stay below the Solus to deny the plant, or do you go upstairs to help your teammate? It's a hard decision to make. He tossed out that impact grenade, made his presence known downstairs, and came straight back up the staircase. Before we get into the next round, though, we'll have a quick tech pause and get things situated. Not sure what the issue is.
Give you information as it comes to be. Now, if we forego the history of XSET, M80 as an org have only played a single stage of NAL ever. Remember back stage 1. Oh, Kino loves that water.
He loves that water. Oh my God.
He loves that water. I love the fact that let me take a break here. I love the fact that Kino knows he's on camera, so he just does ridiculously goofy stuff.
Did you see how he drank the water bottle with 2 hands as well? Who does that?
It's barbaric.
Holding on for his dear life. They're chilling though. But yeah, it's funny because Kino in person is incredibly shy. Yep. And like very sheltered. Like he doesn't really go out of his way to annoy people or be funny or say things, but in private I imagine he's very funny. And on camera when he's just, comfortable in his own place with his friends and his teammates. Yeah, very animated character as well. But you meet the guy and you're thinking there's no way this is the same person. So soft-spoken as well.
He stuck around after the SI finals. Now we're in Stockholm, if you remember, and he sat by the stage right before you and I casted the Empire versus TSM finals.
Yeah.
I got to talk to him a bit, and it was really the first time that I've ever spoken to Kino. And yeah, I mean, he's soft-spoken, but he's also just exceptionally charming. Really nice. Didn't seem like he had a bad bone in his body.
Well, I agree.
But either way, let's get back to these stats on you. M80 as an organization have only played in the NAL one single time. They finished first. That was in stage 1. Soniqs have played 9 stages of the NAL and 1 season of Pro League. That goes back to when both ESL and FACEIT oversaw the leagues. Soniqs, when it comes to those, in regular season play, have finished second 3 times. They've never finished first initially. However, the North American League Finals in 2021, it was a 2-0 victory for SQ over DZ, and they were indeed the NA League champions. So, can they repeat it?
Heading out to defuse a bomb.
Will M80 finish first again? We'll wait and see.
Also, as Jesse pointed out, I believe, if M80 they win this, then they are guaranteed locked in for SI, yes. Whereas if they lose, they're basically in, but not guaranteed. But it's nice to get it off your mind. Just be like, okay, focus on the major. Don't gotta worry about SI in the future. Although, I guess focus on the major means you get more points, so you would qualify anyway. But either way, qualifying is qualifying. It's always nice. Sport always in that early action. The first round, the second round. Rexon this time falls on the ace. Heartbreach, well, usually pretty important, but the thing is, Soniqs, they bring a spare. They got the ace and the Hibana, so no major losses here. Osa, that's going to be gone with that flex player from Soniqs. And while the Osa can be very valuable, it's kind of tough in this position because you're dealing with 4 impact grenades, 2 on Spot, 2 on Gomez, and a C4 from Kino. So those shields might not last you very long in this round.
It's a Gumine to go to the top of the stairs as Gio works his way up. Spoit phenomenal in the previous round on that first pick. But M80 winning on these first duels. Actually action, breaking in very fast and furious. Gunner gets caught off guard, and suddenly it's Citizen all alone. M80 slowing down Soniqs as they get into this map. This is Soniqs' map pick as well. Pick for Citizen. Case not too far away. I love the sound of that para. I don't even want to speak. I just want to hear the suppressed para making these noises. And there's the smoke. It's firing away. Just listen to it. Hold on, just listen. It sounds so nice.
It's so smooth.
Citizen's just wasting time at this point. I mean, he might get a pick if M80 decides to be a little bit brazen. But when he gets to the bomb site, there's going to be an M80 in the hands of Kino. He's shut down by Gomez. That round was over long before Citizen actually died. M80 up 2-0 on Skyscraper.
Seems like Citizen suffered a classic case of playing Twitch or Brava, where you're sitting outside using your drone, using your gadget drone, and by the time you're done with it, or you feel okay with what you got out of it, everybody's dead. The round's basically over. Macy J made a tweet back when Brava came out. Was like, Brava was a great operator, but there's one issue that I have when I play her. By the time I get off my cam and using both of them to hack gadgets, all my teammates are dead. That's kind of what happened that round. Citizen was droning, he was chilling, he was holding a window angle on the rappel, and then everybody's dead. And he's in that 1 versus 4. Yeah, he gets an exit frag that is completely impactless, no value whatsoever, but that's really it. And the attack inside of Skyscraper, the initial entry, getting a foothold inside the map and getting a baseline, a place to start off of to work further into the map, that is difficult. And every single time that Soniqs tries to enter the building, Sploit is there. On the lesion, getting 2 kills or getting 1 kill doesn't matter. He shuts them down, he makes them fight for it, and usually so far in both those first rounds, Soniqs, they lose in those early engagements. That's why a lot of attacking teams on this map, they try and just focus on, let's get the first kill, get inside the first room, and take it from there. It's very hard to plan on Skyscraper like, okay, let's try and plant on the B-bomb site. No. You don't know if you're gonna get to the B-bomb site, and usually you don't. It's about, okay, let's just try and enter the building. Let's try and get the first kill and take it from there. And I think teams that attack, they gotta be good at problem solving on the fly, because you're gonna lose members that you shouldn't. Like, you lose a heart breacher, you lose your entry, then you have no nades. You constantly have to have different ways to deal with the same problem, because you end up in a very different situation most of these rounds.
Very well put. M80 loving this Solus. The Soniqs will bring a Capitao onto the board. I'm a Capitao stan at this point in my life. I like what's brought, and there you go. Right? And it's a great skin as well. I believe that's the Black Dragon skin on it.
Might be, actually, yeah. Bit of a struggle there from Gunner. Gets it off anyway. I mean, Capitao is a great operator. Just, it's kind of like, it's a burden to, use it correctly. You gotta go through the, the fire, the smoke, you gotta line it up, and you can't bounce it off any walls or anything. You gotta dry peek an angle and, risk yourself dying to get off the fire or smoke bolt. We often see that happening. Capitao swings, gets off the bolt, he dies. Not the greatest outcome. But again, look at this. It's about the first room still. Yeah, Citizen's in downstairs, but no one from M80 cares about that. It's about the upstairs hole. And yeah, they've breached the indication wall, but no one's yet to walk in.
Not ideal for Iconic down below. Citizen slaughtering him. Still in delivery. He looks away right as Diaz creeps up. You're underneath the bomb site. Citizen just lurking, waiting patiently. Gunner dies. Rexon taking some damage as well. This action is happening all spread out over the map. It's an office defense. Down goes Grixer. Again. Where is all of this coming from? Geo to vault into Terrace. It's a goo mine on the way. A run out from Gomez, greeted by the Claymore that's out there. And now a grenade primed and ready to toss over towards the bar. Goes off a bit early. Kino lives for the time being. He'll return fire with his own nitro cell as a grenade is ready to go in, but it blows up a little bit too early. Citizen following up on that. Kino drops. Spoit and Diaz last two left. Soniqs in the sight. Geo looking for kill number one. There it is. But the time runs out. M80 survives. They've won 3 in a row now.
And it's just hard again to progress, really, right? I mean, this is also with M80 running into a Claymore, swinging a door necessarily on the mirror, you know, could have just stuck in the corner. And yeah, there it is right there. Soniqs calling their tactical timeout again. It's a best of 3 series. Settle things early, feel out your opponent. Just got to get a feel for how this series and this match is going to play out. This is again Soniqs' map pick. You'd expect them to do well, but also when you choose the map, the opponent will choose the starting sides. Soniqs should know that there's like a 99% chance they will be starting on the attacking side. They've prepared for it, they're ready for it, and Spoit, he's taking a nap because right now it's a little bit too easy for M80. It doesn't feel like Soniqs really are fighting back right now. They're struggling to get to the building. They're incredibly slow. And yeah, Citizen got that early roaming kill. Iconics on the gadget, can't even shoot back. But that's all they found from that. No nades from below. No real execute happened. Just walked in the door, and what happened? Spoit was hiding on the chassis right here. Just whoop, 1, 2, almost found 3. There's Diaz on the chassis actually, but Spoit was hiding elsewhere.
There's a bit of frustration you can see.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if we want to read too much into the body language, but Soniqs are not particularly happy about this. And I don't think they have good reason to be.
No.
Your first half of your first map, the only map actually that you get to pick, going this quickly in favor of your opponents is never a situation you want to be in.
I think in some ways, in like a professional setting like this one, I think like a sign of frustration can be a good thing, because typically it means it's a place of conflict, which means you have either found the problem or you're suggesting a possible solution. There's some discussion going about it, right? I'd be more concerned if I see Soniqs down 0-3 and they look completely unfazed by the situation and no one's really talking and involving their body, like their arms and their hands, being like, come on guys, you know? So I think that you can always say that this is a good sign. And I've teamed up with Citizen before. He is a passionate player, and usually when he speaks, it's because he has something to say. So Citizen/Ben talking up during that tactical timeout leads me to believe that he has, you know, a reason of his own as to what this problem might be and what they should be doing. And knowing Ben the way that I do, I think it comes down to, let's get inside the building, let's start fighting these guys, you know? Because Citizen, if you ask him, how do you like to play Rainbow Six Siege? He says, I want to get into a gunfight, I want to get in there and just brawl it out. And right now, the way Soniqs are playing, they're not allowing that, but look at this, maybe they're also making it very hard to execute in these rounds.
There's Kino now, watching as the fires rage around him. Gomez goes down to Grixer. The nade will flush out Kino as well. Soniqs have recovered very gracefully after that timeout. They attempt something they weren't able to do the first time, which is a successful attack onto the Karaoke and T bomb sites. Now Gunner will continue to move forward. He and Geo were held off the score sheet up until Geo got a pick. Spoit eliminating Geo. Down goes Rexon and Geo. M80 suddenly finding the scoreboard. Now it's Iconic watching towards the window, but he's in a very tough place. Citizen dropped. It's all up to Diaz. 6 kills for Diaz, by the way, through 3 rounds.
Recovered the diffuser.
Yesterday he had that clutch, which was remarkably well played. He pull it off here too. Well, lots of time for Soniqs to work together. Gunner might be having a slow start. Grixer is always a foe that you want to treat seriously.
Drop the diffuser.
Oh my. Diaz has given his position away. Gunner playing for the bait, and he's gone now.
Recovered their diffuser.
Look at Diaz repositioning. Grixer going for the plant. Diaz gets spotted on the drone, though, so at least they know he's in Geisha. Grixer will likely be able to pull this off and then square up. Oh my. There goes the last E1D. Oh, shot! Oh my God, Diaz!
Attackers need to protect it.
The team will get up and go start waving at him as there's still a little bit of a humble smirk on his face. That'll break your spirits. Absolutely, that'll break your spirits. Soniqs had the best look that they've had the whole time, and then they run into the Diaz clutch machine, and that's that for the round.
I mean, Soniqs also had a singular drone alive. We saw Gunnar check it in a 2 versus 1, and they had no intel really. And the one drone that was up and alive was that Geisha drone that Diaz shot, and he was like, okay. He was sneaking around, relocating, playing it very smart, but then the one drone left actually sees him. You think, okay, what's he gonna do? He sticks around, no big deal. And this is one of the reasons why it's always a tough position to be in, where should you go for a pre-fire, not knowing where the enemy is, or not? Because if Gerxer doesn't shoot his gun right there, Diaz isn't gonna shoot back. Diaz was simply fighting a ghost. He was being shot at, so he held left click, and then Gerxer ran into those bullets through the wall. If Gerxer had quietly walked away, Diaz has no reason to press his left click on his mouse. No reason whatsoever. It's one of those cases of Gerxer did not really feel safe in the server because he didn't know where Diaz was playing from, and he thought if he could just escape the bomb site and get a little bit further away from the diffuser, he might have that post planned. But it came back to bite him. 4 over M80, and again, it's looking like it's just another day in the office for them. Relatively stress-free rounds so far. Sure, it came down to a 1v1 and a clutch from Diaz, but it's a pretty casual outcome in these rounds. They're doing their basic setups, they're extending, they're running around very freely, and they're finding these picks. I will say though, Soniqs' attack last round after the tactical timeout did look very impressive. They had that team coordination, the fire from the capital, the nades come out, and again, they were fighting M80 and just picking one part of the map that said, we're gonna fully commit, and they got the initial kills, they got inside the building, but M80 are so prepped for this OSA pick from Gunnar. They keep bringing between 2 and 4 impact grenades every single round, so the OSA cannot really be played at this point, and we saw last time it was gonna try it. The impacts did so much damage, it got 1 kill and destroyed both shields. The OSA didn't find any real value in that round.
Completely spot on with that analysis. I mean, that's the, like I said, that's the best look that you're gonna get. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
You know Gio's mad about that one. He vaults in and immediately dies right next to restaurant. Now Soniqs will clear from above, and there's a bevy of these M80 lineups. Citizen getting the first pick on to Gomez. Even though Gio is down, I suppose he's still retrievable. Bomb site is kitchen though. So Soniqs have some to tussle with, and Iconic goes for one, but Citizen, when he's on his game, he's on his game. Iconic is no more. Advantage going back in the way of Soniqs. Rexon in troubling position. Citizen with 3. Down goes Rexon. Kino. He has to reposition. Why? Because he probably has the M870 in back pocket. That means the sidearm is the only thing he has access to. Gunnar heading for the hills. Spoit the last one remaining. He'll soften up Gunnar, but Citizen a 4K. Soniqs finally get on the board.
Yeah, what did I say? Citizen, if you ask that guy how does he want to play Siege, he wants to get into those gunfights and get enabled. And it looked like after the timeout, he either took it upon himself or said, guys, let me do my thing. He is roaming, creeping about, walking the building, and not really with drone support work either. This is good old European Citizen that has that sixth sense, you know, incredible game sense. Almost, I used to say that when he was roaming around in Europe, he could like smell where the opponent was. Whenever somebody's nearby, he just stops, he reads the situation perfectly, and he finds those kills. He doesn't need the drone support, so it frees up the rest of Soniqs. They play this 4-1 line. 4 members working together, and then Citizen. And Citizen, what he's really good at is just listening to the team comms from his teammates, trying to allocate, okay, where are my teammates, where are the enemies, and what can I do as an individual to help my team progress? And that's why we see Citizen in that round running back and forth. He's just working proactively off the team comms as they're happening in real time. We've seen Gio, Sleepy Gio like we call him when he plays Monty and Clash, you know, in those supportive roles.
Attackers are heading out.
Iconic. Not the player you'd expect to play a lot of Clash. Usually he's also, you know, in your face, Clutchmeister, always smart with his decisions. And Clash isn't really an operator where we tend to say that matches, right? No. Clash is like, I'm gonna sure be in your face, but I'm not gonna shoot back. I'm gonna sap you to reduce some health, make you feel miserable, and slow you down. But Clash does work wonderfully on Skyscraper. It's a relatively like compartmentalized map. One hallway here, one hallway there. Not a lot of verticality to be had. And there's all those exterior balconies. Iconic can just walk into Soniqs and again make it more difficult to get inside the building. So I like this pick from M80.
Oh no! Oh, Spoit! No!
It's their 2 walls.
Gunner gets his very first pick. Pretty crazy to think that that's how it will happen. We talked about this Clash. You hyped it up. Now it's Iconic to give information about those Selmas, but there's nobody who can come to the rescue, and because of that, they will sacrifice the office wall. Suddenly, the attackers, the Soniqs, have a much better way into the bomb site.
That they do. I like that Kino hit the mirror window and Pog. You could put out to watch the breach now. But a second Selma going out is possible, or a third should I say. Gunnar has 1 spare in pocket. Nades coming out from below, not really finding any value as of yet. Still 1 in pocket of Rexon as well. Soniqs, they can take their time because they have all this utility, and M80's setup is a bit,
Defender has been discovered.
not fully thought through. The walls are falling apart, the mirror window as well. There's no Walden on the defensive side. We're playing good guns and defense, but right now, Soniqs are not picking the gunfight. They're picking the utility fight. So far, it's working very well for them. Still a minute to go, though. It's up to Soniqs to make the first move on the attacking side.
Oh. Here's Kino to fire back. Goodbye to Rexon. Citizen taking some damage from that goo mine. He needs to get that out of his foot as quickly as possible. Kino pays for his transgressions at the hands of Geometrics. It's Gomez to toss a nitro cell. He knows that he's got 1 at that split. Down he goes. Diaz firing in vain through the desk. M80 only reduced to 2, but Diaz is on the board. You know he's a threat. Good for 1 kill so far in this round. Iconic on the Clash. Diffuser going down. Gunner has to bail off. He's the last one left. As long as that shield's up, you can waste an awful lot of time, and that'll be Iconic's job here. Feed Diaz the kill. Diaz, do not overpeak. Iconic needs to give this information, and there he is. The moment he puts his shield away, Gunner will get off.
Attackers are activated.
And there it goes. Bit of sloppiness. No way. Wait, hold on. How does M80 misplay that? Gunner's in good position right now. Iconic will need to win a heads-up gunfight with Diffuser down after they have lost control of the site. He'll hop onto it. Now Gunner will reposition.
Oh, the shield.
Shooting through the wall, but the shield is there! Misplays from both teams, but oh my god, it's M80 who comes out on top.
The shield on the back, the turtle diffuse up against the wall, and it's all you. Iconic. You don't think of him as a Clash player, but he is very smart about it. And immediately when he realized that Gunner was so far off the bomb side, he's like, can't I just, turn my back and defuse it? He can't really stop me in this position. And you're right, he can't. But before that happened, yeah, a massive blunder from M80, allowing the plan to go down in the first place and for Gunner to get that kill onto Diaz. I thought Iconic would go onto that reinforced wall between the bomb sites and just unextend the shield, forcing Gunner to get off the defuse. Instead, he just stood there looking at him, sapping him a bit, and Gunner just did not care because you don't have to in that scenario. Beautiful round in some good ways and some bad ways, but that's actually the first half in the books. It flew by. 5-1 in favor of M80, but also them starting on the favorable side of defense.
Bomb located
now,
by attackers.
There's going to be a talking point here on the attack swap. It's going to be Kino.
10 seconds to go.
Because he played Monty yesterday, and I was listening to
5 seconds remaining.
you, Parker, and Demo talk about the matchup, and I heard Kino Monty every single round how bad it was.
Mm-hmm.
And
it wasn't very good. It wasn't good.
It was not it, right?
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
He agrees because he stuck to Monty for the majority of the round, and then attacker repick at the last second goes to Dugobi. I was like, okay, let's not talk about it then, I guess. But I was curious to see if Kino could redeem himself or not, because Kino isn't typically a bad Monty player. He was one of those early NA players who would bring out the operator with high frequency. You get bent against him, etc. as well. And then there's been a while where he didn't play the operator because the meta changed, etc, etc. And now that he's back on it, it just seems like maybe it's been too long. I don't know. But Dogi will be the operator instead. A beautiful nade there tossed out. Doesn't do damage though. It's gonna across the map in that jump out. Sport falling early or getting the kill early almost every single round. Rexon this time striking back. Citizen also taking damage. It's only been a minute in the first round of Sideswap, and so many members already have had some gunplay and some bit of health taken off their health bar. But a dog on defense is gonna favor them, because look at Gunner and Citizen back to full HP. Diaz, he's stuck on 1.
Great foresight there from Soniqs to see this. Rexon will exchange some of his HP. No more stim pistols remaining. Last one was used on Citizen. Rexon will continue at that HP for the remainder, as all the utility from Grixer's dock has now been used up. Astonishing first half where M80 came out ahead 5-1 on SQ's map. That is devastating. But if Soniqs can do the same to them, assuming that this is a very defender-sided matchup, then we go to overtime. There's a long road to walk before we get to that point, as we're only on the first round of the second half. So that means we'll have a relatively late first map, unless M80 can put on a better performance than what we've seen so far, because Kino and Spoit in the grave is obviously bad, but Diaz holding that diffuser on a single point of HP is even worse. But even with a single point of HP, he can get some kills. And down and go Rexon. Remainder found out. On Rappel now with 40 seconds left. These rounds have been relatively fast between the teams. That's now incumbent upon M80 to get into the bomb site. Their focus, they're over on the south side of the building. Over towards Geisha, over towards main stairs. He is very concerned with somebody possibly coming up the stairs for a flank. He saw the legs of Citizen and just didn't fire in time. Now it's Iconic in. What can he accomplish in a 1v4? Nothing. Gunner sends him away. A second round now for SQ.
For Immortal comment as well, defense is the place to be. It's so hard to attack on Skyscraper for every single team in the world. There's just no easy way to go about it. But the great thing about starting defense is that you get to build up that round score. As long as you don't let it slip and don't get too, confident. Be like, oh, this is easy, Then you go and attack. Oh, wait, this is not so easy after all. Every single round matters so much because of how Skyscraper plays out with the sides. Made it with a relatively sloppy first round on the side swap, but again, I want to give kudos to Soniqs because they were the ones to bring the fight to the attackers. Gunnar jumping out a window, Rexing fighting on Geisha balcony, picking up kill after kill, and as you mentioned, the foresight to play the dock, to actually take those confrontations and say, okay, if you survive them, we'll put you back up to full HP. You can take another fight, and one after that, one after that. And the best case scenario for a dock round is if all 3 stims get used, and they did. Can't ask for a better outcome there.
10 seconds to go.
Bomb side changed though, from one top floor side to another, from T Karaoke to the office side instead. And Kino will this time go from Dokkaebi onto the Monty. Now, typically you'll see the Monty being played for the bomb side that we just witnessed, not for this one, but it can still have some value. Monty will always give you at least, diffuser can get escorted into the bomb site, try and get down the plant, you're always gonna get the intel, and in this case, it's an easy operator to bring up those secondary EMPs to ensure the wall gets opened up. You're dealing with both the mute jammers and the Kai claws from the Kaid, so you gotta problem solve around this. And the answer is, well, one step secondary EMPs onto Kino, and a Maverick on Iconic as well. They can deal with any of the walls, and sure, it might take some time and effort, but they can deal with them. There goes one.
Can't get over the performance from Diaz over the last 2 days. We saw Adam's performance yesterday, but today he really didn't show up as well as a border matchup. Mind you, it was largely just a single game yesterday where he proved his worth. He's a tremendously skilled player, and I genuinely am excited to see the LCQs for NA. There are a lot of very good teams that will be competing in there. Excited to see how LG does, SSG, OXG, and now Wildcard. Those teams got to be the favorites. And SSG just is a wildly unpredictable team, but it certainly seemed like they improved the more the stage went on. That obviously is not good news for their opponents in the LCQ. Diaz's consistency is how this conversation started, and now he's applying utility work. M80 has a lot of big names. Spoit, Kino, Iconic are huge. Diaz and Gomez tend to be in the background. So it's nice to see them finally get their time in the sun. Speaking of Kino, this Monty experiment, and I very much stress experiment, will now find the Dragon Room and 3 players nearby as well, all of whom are turned and looking in his direction.
Good corner clean there from Kino, ensuring that nobody's hiding close by, and he's gotten a good foothold here, and allowing him to push up to follow him next in line. But again, the thing is, breaking past this door right here, that's the difficulty. Sure, the breach is open, but they gotta win their gunfights to get that first pick, but it's Soniqs to do it.
Soniqs are actually winning most of these early engagements. Kino with 1 pick, Diaz now was 1 as well. There's a bit of nearsightedness going on. Iconic attempting to get in closer to the bomb site. Diaz is the one holding the diffuser. Down goes Kino. Iconic will now need to try to help Diaz get that diffuser down while 3 players remain from Soniqs. You've lost Citizen and Geo, but all the other tools are there.
10 seconds to go.
It's just Diaz to clutch as he hits the barbed wire. Gunner fires once, hoping the clock will be his friend with just a matter of seconds left. Diaz looks to pat some stats, and he's not going to be able to do that. Gunner gets the kill. Honestly, so close yet so far for this M80 squad. They take the first half 5-1. They just need 2 rounds. But the 2 rounds that have been played so far in this second half have looked quite dominantly for Soniqs. That is a troubling spot to be in. M80 have not shown the same signs of life in these 2 attacks as they did on defense, which again leads me to believe that this defender-sided matchup we are witnessing will go the distance.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna continue in this way. And it's small things, not really aligning for M80. It was Iconic stuck outside the breach and able to follow Kino on the entry. And then they get you to Fenrir, near-sightening the members that are actually going for that initial entry as well. They couldn't find it. They just didn't know where the disc was. So they get flanked by the Warden. Kino gets shut down, shot from behind. Unlucky for him, but very lucky for Soniqs. They're buying themselves this quote-unquote imaginary momentum where, yeah, there's no actual momentum mechanics like economy or a backup or a comeback mechanic, but you do have the mental game. And we did see Soniqs, when they were down 0-3, they called their timeout. They looked a little bit frustrated, which I think, or thought, was a good thing. But since then, it's looked mighty fine for them. After the timeout, they played 3 rounds in that half. 2 of those 3 they won. And they got that, sorry, 1 of them they won. Sorry, 5-1 off. So they won a single round, but then after on the side swap, they looked much, much better.
Attackers have recovered
and when you call these tactical timeouts, sure, they were on attack back then, but you're typically gonna talk about fundamentals, vitality, playstyle, etc., and also talk about both the defense and the attack. Almost a spawn pick there from Grixer. Yeah, it's 30 seconds in, but he's enemies in spawn still. Kino's experiment continues. Monty last round, Monty this round, and even how close it was and how much success the Monty did bring to the round, I don't blame them at all for it. I quite like it. Oh, that is a beautiful nade from the window off the gap and gets the kill on the rotate. Goodbye, Rexon.
Would you believe it that the last time that M80, by my stats, had an uncontested first blood was within the first 5 to 6 minutes of this game?
Nope, that's true.
And now they do it again. It's been a long, cold winter for them, with Soniqs always getting onto the board first. You haven't needed a big game from Rexon so far, because you've got the supporting cast to do it. M80 now with the smokes going in. Grixer finishing off Kino, who didn't have his shield the right way. I appreciate the effort from M80, but it falls short. They still have an advantage in this 4v3, and they've still got 90 seconds to retrieve the diffuser. That diffuser was in the bomb site, and SQ knows that. They will assemble closer on the side of Soniqs, except for Geo, who seems to be getting as actively far away from the bomb site as humanly possible.
Maybe try to go for the symbol strat. Walk in, plant, easy claps with a yellow ping and a cheeky punch to the wall. Secures the diffuser case inside of Soniqs now. Maybe gotta pick up the pieces. Virtuous positions at a restaurant, very vital for the defense. Geo falls for it, triple for Iconic, and it's forced Grixer into a more aggressive position, looking for a kill. But the frost mat, we hear it.
Oh my.
It's Gomer's in the ground.
Grixer's hoping for that, but he's also given his position away inside a barbecue. Now M80 will breathe down his neck. Citizen above, this is a scary position. M80 might have 4 players upright, but it's very easy for Citizen to get at least 1 to 2 picks. He's finished off by Iconic. What a play by him so far. Spoit denies the ace. Map point for M80. 6-3 the scoreline right now on Soniqs map. In order for Soniqs to win this, they need to win the next 3 rounds and then prevail in overtime. That means 5 more round victories for SQ. A single round to take this map for M80. Those are the odds at this moment. Not looking very good for the team in teal.
You go back and replay that round, and you see all the players are getting goo mined, getting shot out from above, punch holes, they're running around, smokes, chaos, right? Then you watch Iconic, he's repelling the entire round between 2 different windows, picks up 4 kills, he's happy. He's, you shoot this guy, rappel up here with a bit, there's another guy here, yada, yada, yada. Such an easy round for him. But for the rest of his team, they were just, completely hell in a cell from the moment Kino opted to go for that plant attempt. And I think it was a good try. Obviously, the logic for Kino is that the shield gets put in his back to cover the ceiling because there was holes in the floor, but there's a soft wall to his left, and they just didn't know that Grixer was playing there, and they didn't know that the defenders had intel where the plant was going down because there was a yellow ping perfectly positioned for it. And Kino, again, will bring out the Monty. And I do like this because, again, it has been one of the win conditions for M80. And if it doesn't go punished, why change it up? Soniqs have made a couple of changes throughout these rounds. Now they find themselves kind of in the in-between. They're playing both the Smoke, the Goyo, and the Thorn. These can deal partially with Monty and the injuries of M80. But also playing the Dog on Grixer. Again, to enable those gunfights to be taken with confidence. If you suffer a lot of damage, you get healed right back up. That matters a lot in these rounds. It allows Soniqs' roam game to stay for longer and take more risks and try and deal with these attackers' injuries a lot better. And we see them here doing great work. It's already been a minute almost. Get a bit of damage, kill a few drones, fall back 1 room, rinse, repeat. And you keep doing that until you hit the bomb site and you have a formula for success.
I'm not outside the ordinary for Soniqs. They've got some 1.5s on the board. They've got good guns. They've got some anti-plant utility. They've got good scouting. There really isn't much that they're lacking here. There goes one of those Goyo canisters. 2 of them, in fact, over towards Drum as they assess that M80 will wander through Terrace. Spoit was good on defense, but on attack, he has allowed the rest of his team to flourish. Kino saw that Terrace and Drum was a little bit too scary for him. I think that's the dock that he just spotted. These distinctive silhouettes give us information as well, and it is indeed Grixer. Wait for the escort. There's usually a good shot. Kino needs to keep his teammates alive as there go the logic bombs, but they already know where Grixer's position is. There's 3 players unaccounted for on M80. They need to find those Soniqs players, and they need to do it in a hurry. There goes Spoit. Gunner getting on the board first. Sonic striking first as well with 1 minute on the clock. M80's job just got a lot more difficult to try and secure this map. Good news for them, they've got plenty of opportunities. Oh, Kino! No. Diaz, would you believe it? First kill for M80. They're going to need a lot more. He and Gomez working together, but now Diaz is as good as dead, and Gomez will follow. Stop bringing the Monty. I beg you, please, for the love of God. It just doesn't work. It has not worked. It didn't work yesterday. It's not working today. Free Kino. If it's his idea to play Monty, somebody give him a light tap upside the head and say, stop it. Hey, knock it off. You're not the Monty you think you are. You're no spirits. Look at you.
Oh boy. See, now it's getting personal.
Kino needs to swap out the Portuguese for the French. Then maybe he could start to channel some of the power of spirits. But all jokes aside, it just has not worked. On bank, he's going in usually with an escort, but there are too many times where he's clearing on his own. And frankly, he's putting himself in positions where he's easily abused by the defenders, even right there. There's no reaction in that gunfight. He could have turned so the shield would have at least softened up some of the bullets. That does not transpire.
10 seconds to insertion.
You're right.
You have other ways that you can get map control. And honestly, Kino is also running Amaru on bank too.
Attackers
I
objective.
don't know if it's because Kino has a very small operator pool on attack, or if he likes these plays and the rest of the team decide, okay, we'll play around it. But M80 could be getting so much more value out of more standard operators here at the moment. I mean, look at the lineup. A Nomad wouldn't necessarily be a terrible idea. An IQ wouldn't be a terrible idea. I would like both of those operators over an Amaru.
Yeah, I mean, even nades at this point, right? They're running a nadeless lineup because they got in the buck instead, so I fully agree with you.
Yana's the big one.
Yeah, it really is. And the thing about being a multi-main is that I've been there myself as well, where you feel like in your mind you can do so much work and so much value, theoretically. But realistically, that's not always the case. You're a bit biased towards yourself and limiting your own capabilities. Kino also statistically is 3 and 9. That means that on defense, he can get many gunfights go in his favor. He might not be feeling the most confident and comfortable right now, and that might be an issue. And Spoik gets caught droning on the balcony with no coverage and no intel. Sloppy work from M80, but well punished from Soniqs. And again, taking these risks, despite being down 4-6 on match point, they're still seeking plays and still very much in this, not being scared to take that risk.
So this all the way back in the very first round. I said this actually on Cafe, if I recall, when there's a Solus on the board, any map with a lot of repels, you're always in danger. And even though it wasn't Citizen on the Solus, I have no doubt that Geo was able to feed that information and say, go for this. And there's Geo right there.
Uh-oh.
Surely not. Does this work? Does this work? Does this work?
I mean, yeah?
And he's getting the diffuser down. There's nobody stopping him.
What,
Citizen's there, he'll shut him down. Oh, on a hair. No coverage. How is nobody looking? That's a very common area. You've got the wall open too. Rex in with another kill. Gunner, the only casualty for Soniqs. It almost worked. And then it didn't.
I mean, actually just Kino panic was in a bad spot, but Iconic was not there to cover and they get punished for it instead, as we saw. And yeah, Gomez, rather, you're up for the clutch here. Bergster and Citizen both very low in HP.
Can we just expect M80 on attack to have some maybe conventional... What? What?
Genius.
It's so smart. Hold on, this is more winnable than it seemed moments ago. Question is going to be Geo on Solus. Gomez being watched by the cam. He needs to secure this kill. There it is, and then also manage the time.
10 seconds.
Maybe shoot the cam, for goodness sakes. Through the wall. He knows that there's one there. He's going to kill himself. No, it's Geo to get it. I was going to say he's going to walk around the corner and kill himself, but no. It does end up happening. That's what I meant right there. He gets himself killed. Oh my.
I mean,
4 rounds through 5. M80. M80 plays a normal attack without kind of weird operators challenge. Impossible.
Finding some stability also seemingly impossible. The Kino goes up, they combine it with some flashbangs, he gets the kill, and then immediately goes to the plant. Again, could be a panic play because he's got to go for the reload, it's awkward, he has no intel, it's easier to just get cover by getting to that animation of planting, but it didn't seem like M80 were actually prepared for that. Iconic was outside on their ability, he starts repelling now, as Kino died. If Iconic had been on the balcony to cover there and deny Citizen the walk-in, that's a different story. If somebody's on that B window to shut down Citizen's rotation, it's a done deal again. They get into the post plant. So I don't know if it's lack of communication, or just like 2 separate plans going on, or M80 just trying to panic plant without being prepared for it. But either way, it's not a good look on their attacks. While it made it look great on the defense, on a defender-sided map, with Diaz completely popping off, I have not been impressed by their attacks whatsoever right now. Even the round they won on their attack was Iconic on a window repel getting 4 kills, and that was it. So no real problem-solving success here for M80, and that's the issue with attack. You need to problem-solve. You can't expect the defenders to make all these mistakes all the time and just give you free kills. You can't rely on players like Diaz right now, just finding kill after kill after kill. He's still 16-7. That's while he's been cooling off the last few rounds. Can't rely on it. Sure, it's great when it happens, but that's really it. The bandit trick is successful from Geo. M80 again, they don't drone Geisha. There's no nades below because that's where the bomb site is. They're not playing EMPs because Kino's running the smoke grenades and Dokebe's of Spoy is running flashbangs. So they can't really deal with Geisha now whatsoever. Again, now they got a problem to solve elsewhere on the map and make something else work because their primary plan just failed.
You hear the cell must go off, so at least some hard destruction has worked out. Kino reunited with the Monty. I swear to whatever god may or may not exist from above. If Kino does some dumb nonsense on this operator and gets himself killed and it completely borks M80's chances, I am gonna lose my mind. They get an advantage though. Gunner gets picked off. Rexon was very close to death as well, and there's no dock this time, so no way for Soniqs to bring their players back up to full HP. But as we've seen in previous rounds, you got 1 HP, you can still get kills.
That's true. But we also saw that, you know, M80 kind of relies on Soniqs to make the wrong play, and Rexon put himself in a bad position, taking that fight. Gunner came to help him. Gunner dies. Rexon almost dies, and this is again Soniqs kind of giving M80 the way into these rounds. I respected their fight despite being down in terms of round score, being a match point, but sometimes you gotta cut your losses and just simply play the side, play further back, because now Kino gets activated. Oh.
That's a rough one. The remainder of Rexon finally found. Soniqs needed to do the exact same that M80 did on their first half in order to salvage their own map choice. Now, Soniqs have not relinquished control of the actual map, but Geo fires away somehow. I'm sorry, was that not the...
What?
Nicholas.
Don't say... I know, it didn't
Nicholas.
wait. He ran into the castle barricade.
Nicholas.
Attackers recovered the...
We gotta retire Kino Montier. I'm sorry. You said it. I confirm it.
It's not allowed.
15
It's
seconds
not allowed
remaining.
anymore. All jokes aside, 10 seconds left.
10 seconds to go.
SQ trying to keep themselves in this map. There's Diaz to find a way to get the
5 seconds
diffuser
left.
down, but he's all alone. Soniqs just need to find this last kill. Diaz bails off. Overtime.
Operators have run out of time.
Wow. And I feel like a disappointed father.
You sound like it too.
That's what I feel like at this particular moment. I feel like Kino is my child. Look at him. He's a good-looking boy, okay? I just want the best for him. I just want him to not play Monty. Something else, anything. Play a recruit. I don't care.
You can't even play. That's the thing where it's like, but there's so many operators these days. Why there's so many options?
Get in the game. You can play this sledge. I don't know. He's not Monty.
Oh no! Hold on.
Please stop.
Listen. I'm gonna call Spoil on my phone right now. Okay, we gotta get the comms going. Yeah,
I beg you.
William, you gotta listen. William, you gotta tell Kino to get off the. He hung up on me. He doesn't care. He
10
says
seconds
full
to insertion.
send it. Kino, he's got an idea. And
5 seconds to
sometimes
insertion.
to find success with something, you know we say it takes 10,000 hours to
Attackers must
master a
locate
craft.
and defuse a bomb.
Maybe Kino is closing in. This is 9,999 hours in Monty right now. And this round will break 10,000. He's gonna show up. Phenomenal clutch. Crowd goes crazy. And you stand there, once the disappointed father, looking down at your son of Kino saying, "You did it, son. It took you a while, but you did it. You found value in a single round on this Monty operator. I'm proud of you."
I don't think that's gonna happen.
It might not.
I have absolutely zero faith. And anyway, you don't want to beat on a player too much for their performance, but I am curious as just a general contest. M80 are obviously competing to be the best team in NA. They know something we don't. They're obviously a talented team, but then I just watched some of these rounds and I'm just like, if you played literally anything else, you would gain so much more value, right? That last round went so well in their favor, things looking like they were going great until they ran into Geo upstairs and Geisha. This round, at least they start off strong by getting a pick on the gunner.
yeah, but the mid to late round is where things they fall apart for M80 typically. Spoy got the opening kill, leading the way forward for the attack. There's the Monty. I was gonna say, where's the push coming from? The same kind of push as last time, but look how far back the members are playing behind Kino. They let him go all the way up, scout the intel, clear the corners, then the guns follow. And Iconic, he finds a second onto Geo. That's smoke off the board. A huge operator pick there for the attack inside.
This is exactly the situation you want to find yourselves in, and now it's going to continue to get better. M80 playing more refined. Amazingly, Kino has not been the main point of this M80 spear. And because of that, you've got other players that are enabled to get these kills. Now it's Kino's turn to get in. Now that you've gotten rid of 2 players, this is the time that the Monty can really exhibit some influence on the round. And M80 are dominating. Kino has Diffuser down. This is how you play around a Monte. They've lost Gomez, but now Citizen is gone. It's match point again for M80. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that's it, right? He was just so close to that breaking point in terms of hours played, and there it is. Success is being had, and also M80, they played well on the Monty because one part is the Monty aspect, the other one is the teammates behind him, of course. Sees his face cam right now. Very vocal. Not exactly sure what he's saying, but he's
who do you think he's pointing fingers at? Who do you think he's saying, you did it wrong?
Oh, boy.
I feel like I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, the thing about Citizen is that he'll keep it real with you typically. Always has. You know, the thing is, when you're playing, whether it's regular sports or esports, when you're playing inside a competitive environment with the boys, you know, with your teammates, you can be hard on one another because you want the best from each other. And you want each other to improve, to win, to succeed. And the harsh reality and truth sometimes isn't nice to hear, but it's necessary. A wake-up call, a realization, hey, we spoke about this. This thing had to change. This strat was wrong. That reinforcement was messed up. You forgot this or whatever the case might be. Hey, well, you're dead. Hop on cams. Don't watch players. There are so many teeny tiny details in Siege that you can get angry over, really pick apart. It's important to choose your battles with your teammates, of course. You can't just fight them all the time. That's not healthy either. But in a best of 3, having an open dialogue as the game progresses and the series progresses is very important. And it's fitting that Citizen, who is the front runner for Soniqs in performance right now in terms of kills and, I would say, impact on the attack inside, that it's him speaking up. Because he can do so with authority. Hey guys, it works for me. Listen up, do this, follow me, whatever the case might be. Looks good on him. Diaz, 18 kills, by the way. Found a couple in that previous round. See what Soniqs can do now on their attacking side.
Well, it's do or die on this map. It will be for the next 2 rounds as Soniqs cannot go out. Oh my. No way. No. Oh. Boy was trying. There was an attempt. Rexon dies. Geo almost falls. M80 showing their proficiency on defense, but this has been a very defender-sided map. Only 3 attacking rounds won. 2 of them by M80. That's why they sit at this 7-round score line. I don't like the spot that Soniqs finds themselves in, not one bit. Not with the smoke, not with the lesion. You got Geo on 10 HP. That's no good.
Let's see if they overstay, though. Maybe they stick around and get a little bit too cute. Maybe they fall in the roam here and give Soniqs a way back into this round. They did so previously, but no. Soniqs, they keep losing these gunfights.
Not ideal. Not one bit. Grixer just save his team on their map. I mean, he's knife in the air. He surely knows the prospects. To find one of these 5 kills, that alone presents a challenge. This comeback from Soniqs was impressive. They played the map. They played the side as well as they needed to. What success are they going to have now? Shotgun out, and guess who it is? It's Kino. He can't get it done. Puzzling that shotgun blast. Even a single buckshot would have killed Grixer at that HP. He's looking for more, and now it's the office side of the map. That's where these 3 players are. In that direction, Grixer taking tons of time. He's still got 40 seconds. Spoit send us away. 8-6 the scoreline. M80 survive a scare, but they steal Soniqs' map